listening to The Lie, Lama podcast. We lie more to ourselves than to anybody else. Hi, I'm Gunjan.
I'm Rajiv.
And today we'll ponder upon the question, are we living a life that's based upon a lie?
So how would we figure out that we are living a life of lie? Is there a metrics or a measurement that we can say, if I am doing this, then I'm living a life of lie, or I'm lying to myself?
That's why we call it asking questions to yourself
Yes,
than to the other person.
And self-actualization.
Self-actualization.
Yes. Reflection.
And I remember this beautiful story, Splinters, written by our co-host
Yes.
Rajiv. Yes, it's like, I just don't want to give any spoilers to our listeners. Just a little background that a girl said she had a bag full of dreams, and then she said you can take it for free. And later on, she said you have to pay a price for it. So, Rajiv, can you just give us a little more insight about that story? That what made you write that story, and where do you think that it's free, but it seems to be free, but it's not?
So before I explain the idea behind the story, let me give you the story behind the story. We were in Houston, and my elder daughter, she was, I think, about a little more than a year. She had just started walking, and being like the parents, we were very excited. We went to the mall, and we bought, in those times, based on our income, very expensive shoes for her. They came in a very fancy kind of a box, and in spite of knowing that she will outgrow them within 3 months, but first time parents excitement. So we come back to our apartment, and then she wears those shoes and takes that bag that had a big and she's walking around the apartment, and I asked her, what do you have in this bag? So before she could respond, my wife, who was there, she said, Papa, I have dreams.
Oh my God, that's beautiful for an 18-month-old to say that.
No, that was my wife who said that, like mimicking her. So, and that actually immediately gave me a very interesting perspective on our life, that when we are, kids, teenagers, young and all that, and throughout our lifetime, our dreams change. We think we can do this, we can do this, we can do that. But then what happens? So what I explore in that story, Splinters, is exactly that transition from being very imaginative, being very enthusiastic about life, to becoming very cynical and very angry about everything that you see around yourself. But yeah, thank you for bringing that. I think the better one that we should discuss is the book by Viktor Frenkel.
Oh, that's a legendary book to read.
Yeah.
Viktor Frenkel, Man's Search for Meaning. That's the same book you're talking about?
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, Rajiv. If you can just help our listeners with the just little insight for the book, that will be.
Yeah. So I can give some background, but I'm sure that if you have also read it, we can talk about that, because that actually. So one thing that I want to make sure that the listeners are aware that our theme, the Dalai Lama, is more philosophical and metaphorical than actually literal. So, yes, we will peel the onion about the lies or the type of lies that we do. It's not that we will take anything literal lie about a sentence that you do, or a sentence or action that we do. It doesn't connect. Viktor Frankl, actually, if you read that book, this guy who was a Jew, he went through so many different hardships. And every day, or every night, or actually not even every day or every night, I would say every minute of those years when he was in the concentration camp, he would not know whether he will be alive the next minute. So put yourself in his shoes. But then, he survived, and then he became one of the world-renowned psychologists around, searching purpose for life, man searcher for, and that's exactly what the book is all about.
So, Rajiv, my question here is that book is in a backdrop of World War II, and it's about a Holocaust survivor. And Viktor Frankl didn't go there as a therapist. He was there as an inmate. Is it relatable in today's world, 2023, what
absolutely.
we are talking about in 1900s?
Absolutely, because see, this is very interesting. I think you and I discussed this some time back when we were discussing either this book or something else. But no, I don't know whether I responded back in the same way, but let me respond back in the way that is exactly how we go through our life every day in, day out. Every challenge we face, the question we have in front of us, are we going to emerge out of it better than what we were or worse than what we were?
Right.
So if I would summarize the experience of Viktor Frankl, is that think about this person went through that Holocaust and everything. So before, metaphorically, he was a coal before he went through that, but he turned himself into a diamond by the time he exited Holocaust and he did his, he actually invented logotherapy, which was a new form of psychotherapy. So yeah, I would say each of us, you take any situation, even a daily situation, you go from your office to home and you're stuck in traffic. How do you emerge after that? By the time you reach home, are you like angry, pissed off and everything? Have you become from a coal to ash? Or do you go back home because you switched on the favorite music, you talk to a couple of your friends, you this thing, and you come back home? Yeah, I use this 1 hour or 1.5 hour with fantastic, which fulfilled. You may have reconnected with 5 of your friends, or you may have played some music that you had not listened to, or listened to a podcast. So I would say that whatever that book describes, the process we go through umpteen times every day.
So I get this question every time in my head, what's the purpose of my life, when I'm actually stuck in traffic. And book also says that, you will find meaning of your life when you're actually suffering. So yes, I can so relate with that. And coming from Bangalore, I know a lot of people can relate to what it means
It's
to be
everywhere.
stuck in.
I'm in Bay Area and I drive to office every day, and it takes me literally 1.5 hours.
Wow.
And it's like just 45 miles.
Okay.
So
from Bangalore, we don't
the
talk
situation
about
is everywhere.
Yes. So okay. So when you get stuck in traffic, do you feel that, okay, what's the purpose of my life? Why am I stuck in this traffic? Why am I responsible for carbon
so
emission?
see, again, exactly. See, the thing is, because I am not just a preacher of self-actualization and self-realization. I also practice it day in, day out. That's the gist of it. The intent that we are doing this talk and we are doing this podcast is that we practice what we preach. I listen to podcasts. I've discovered phenomenal podcasts that I would say have expanded my perspective. I listen to lot of music that I don't get opportunity to listen to. Some of my old favorites. So yeah, I utilize the time to the best advantage you can get.
Coming back to this is amalgamation of Viktor Frankl's book and your story, Splinters. In Viktor Frankl's book, it said that the line that stayed with me: textbooks lie. And
yes,
when we look at the kid, and when you were talking about your daughter, we are full of energy, full of hope. Everything is coming our way. Only time it's uneasy, like you're hungry, you're sleepy, you're just uncomfortable. That's the only hurdle, I must say, that is in your life. As you grow up, you get more grumpy, more cranky. As you get more knowledge of things around you, you don't get enlightened. you get even more like, if I don't know who said this quote, but it is very true that I was born intelligent, education ruined me. How true you
That's
think
right.
that is? How true you think that is? And what happens through that journey when till kindergarten kids are like happy and jumping around and everything, and what changes all of a sudden that they are in, I don't know if they are becoming a robot or a slave.
My perspective on this is very simple, that this society is geared towards making use of an individual to produce more for the society. So you have to understand the function of society, right? Why do we have social norms? Why do we have all this social, conditioning and all that? It's because if you think of society as a conscious being, like we are individually, it has to serve its purpose. And its purpose is simply to make sure that the people who are part of the society do not step out of bounds of their society and become a functionary, productive component of society. So even if it's think about that, it's a very complex watch. Every gear, every spring, everything has a purpose. And and watch cannot tolerate if you insert something that has no purpose for that watch.
No hurdles.
Right. So what happens between, why is our education geared toward finding a job, doing something? Essentially, the term I use is become an economic slave. Because that is what serves the society. You pay your taxes because that goes back to the society, and then the government will, use that.
Which society? Where?
Today, if you say
where the tax
yeah,
money
that's
is
the
going,
question.
I don't
Which
know.
society?
Coming back to conditioning, coming back to conditioning.
Coming back to it's a yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, coming back to conditioning part,
Go ahead.
Rajiv. Again, for a girl and a boy, it's like you have to earn money, get married, and run a family. And for a girl, it's like, get married, take care of your in-laws, take care of your kids, and that's the purpose that is infused in our head.
Yes.
And my question is, why? When we talk about gender equality, when my brother and I, we went to the same school, same education, everything, but there was a different purpose for him compared to a different purpose for me.
See, now, I would say that every person around, or every, I don't know what the right word is, but, every setup around you, like social setup or corporate setup, or even your friend circle setup, everybody will give you the purpose that they think is right for you. Even in your friend circle, you have just 2 or 3 close friends. They will give you the purpose that will serve them. Our parents, our social setup, our education system is giving, they are doing something based on what they have learned and what they think will be meaningful for an individual, whether it's a man or a woman or whatever. Now this is where you have to break free. Now my philosophy, and the reason that when we were discussing about this Dalai Lama, is that we want to encourage, and we have to go against the gravity of all these institutions and decide what is right for me, right? So rather than somebody else telling me, hey, you are a husband or a father or a boy, therefore you have to do this. So I would say no. So there's no check boxes. No, similarly, I used to tell my sister, and even today I tell my daughters that, hey, you decide, first of all, what is it that is right for you? Then worry about anybody else. This world, for me or you, for anybody else, does not exist if you are not alive, if you are not there for yourself. So that is that comes back to the Viktor Frankl, or my story around the sprinters, and some of other stories that I talk about. But the main thing is that this is where self-actualization comes in, and self-realization will follow.
Right. In our previous episode, we have discussed about self-actualization, self-realization, and I'll highly encourage our listeners to go back to our previous episode and do listen about the difference between self-actualization and self-realization. When you talk about, Rajiv, telling kids that you see whether you're happy or not, and that reminds me of this book from Robin Sharma, Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. He said that whatever is there inside you will give it to you. If there is love, you will give love. If there's frustration, you will give frustration. So it's quite a reflection. And that's what this show is all about, that, we need to actually see who we are and what we want to do.
Yeah, actually, very interesting, because I think there was maybe a couple of weeks ago, there was some tweet, and I responded to that tweet, that you only give what you have, which I think is very similar. I have not read Robin Sharma, so I don't know. Actually, I have not read any of his books, but I know the kind of things he talks about, which are very similar to even what I say. So, but yeah, the thing is that you can only give what you have. If you are giving out anger to others or hatred to others, that is the time you have to reflect, is that the only thing I have? Because you cannot give what you do not have, is a fundamental truth of life.
So here's a contradiction, Rajiv. Okay. And loving where this is going. In Viktor Frankl's book, it said that no matter what you are going through, no matter what is coming, still you have a choice of how you behave with the other person. Right? Mm-hmm. On one side, we are saying that what we have inside is what we'll give. On the other hand, we are saying that this is all about choices. Like, not we are saying, but this is what books say, not textbooks which lie, but yes, this is what different authors they have expressed their opinion about. How these two things are different, like making choices, and then what is within is what we are giving to the.
See, this is the beauty of being a human.
Human beings are the most ugly thing on the earth. If you really want to save Earth, eradicate humanity.
No.
I safest place.
No. That's I would not subscribe to that opinion. Please, listeners, this is where we are talking to different languages. But jokes aside, but the main thing is that you see, when we say choice, each of us have a choice of being the worst and the best we can. And this is where the realization comes in, self-realization. Now think about it, very simple thing. Let me give a very simple maybe examples. You look around in the entire nature. A flower is a flower from head to toe. You take a dog or a cat or any animal, any living species other than human beings. A dog is a dog from head to toe. They will behave exactly like a dog, or a cat is a cat head to toe. A snake is a head to toe snake. They will behave exactly the same way no matter what happens. Human being, the conscious, because we have the ability to be self-aware and self-conscious. Whether we choose to be self-aware or self-conscious is a different thing altogether. So when you say about choice, what Viktor Frankl is saying is that you as a human being, not as an animal, because let's say if I were a dog and somebody was threatening me, I will attack and I will bite. There is no second thought about that. A dog will not contemplate, should I be a good dog or a bad dog? Or a snake? Or, any other living species. Only human beings have that ability of choice. And the choice is only, what do I want to become? What am I and what do I want to become? This is exactly what Viktor Frankl is trying to say in his book, that you have a choice every day, every moment in life.
Yes,
And
ultimately.
when I say that you can only give what you have, is actually piggybacking on what he's saying already, that if I only have hatred, I only have cynicism and everything, then I will always choose to give that.
So just bringing a point here that a lot of people are highly paid for criticizing the work. So
Yeah.
the kind
Yeah.
of critique they present, they're highly paid. So yes, it comes to choices and all, but how they can nicely fold it in beautiful words and then present it to the audience or the contestants or whoever it is. But yes, so person who talks very rudely and is
Yeah, but
cutthroat,
you see, critics are doing their job. Again, this is exactly what I'm saying. That if today I am paid, if somebody approaches me and says, "Hey, Rajiv," so imagine that I'm a critic of, I'm a book critic or a food critic. Somebody comes and says, "I'll give you so much money. Can you critique this book or anything?" I would, to earn the money, I will do justice to the person who's paying me. That's a choice. The choice you have is, do you want to do that honestly, or do you want to fall in line with what the other person is expecting? That's a choice you have.
Yes, and then people say money can't buy happiness, and then ultimately it comes to money.
Money does buy a certain level of comfort. And if comfort gives you happiness, then it does buy you happiness.
Yes, money cannot solve all the problems, but it can solve money problems. So
Yes.
yes.
Yes, absolutely.
If someone says पैसों की बात नहीं है, that person is lying. Trust
हाँ,
me.
हाँ,
Somewhere
पैसों
down
की
the
सबसे
line,
पहली बात है. Yes.
right. Somewhere down the line,
Starts with the money.
it's all
Yeah.
about money. Yes. Why you're not having second kid? I say, sorry. Financially, yes, I cannot afford, but physically, mentally, emotionally, I really
Yes.
cannot afford the other kid. So that's the biggest truth of my life. When someone asks me why you're not having second kid, I was like, I'm sorry, I do not have that kind of money that I can support another kid. So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. No, you should start asking them, okay, here's my GoFundMe account. Please transfer the money, and once I reach a threshold, I will have a second kid. Let see, the thing is, let us if somebody's so interested in you having a second kid, then they should contribute to
No, now I'm saying nahi chahiye.
it.
Point blank. So now I've
Good.
stopped making that choice of being gentle, polite, and all. If this question comes, because I have answered this question so many times, now I say nahi chahiye. That's the fact.
Yes.
Stating
Yes.
facts.
Yes. So you see, but these are the steps of, these are exactly where you start understanding yourself and being true to yourself.
And that's what
Right?
have been told to us. Purpose of a woman's life is to have
Mhm.
kids. You're two people and you need a replacement of yourself. So you need to have
Two people.
two kids. And that will make a complete family. Who is defining all this? I am pretty much complete within myself. If I
Yes,
come to
you
think of
should
it,
be.
why do I need a husband? Why do I need a kid? Why do I need another kid to make me complete or make me feel complete? It's just all very external factors which people tell you when you are growing up. And that's what I say that, till the age of 5, you're happy. You are like just, your imagination is at your best. And then when you join school, everything goes in a different world altogether.
Education ruins us. Yes,
Education.
that's why I never tried to get educated.
After so much of education, yes.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so this is a very, I would say, interesting topic. Then I would encourage the listeners to contemplate. See, the one of the thing that I've read this book, I don't know how many times. So I have like very few books that I keep on my bookshelf. And the ones that I keep are the ones that I would want to revisit again and again. But this book actually is just, I think I even wrote a blog on it. I don't remember um, maybe more than a couple of years. So, but this guy gives you a complete new perspective on how to find purpose of your life. And if you even do research on logotherapy, the first question he would ask his patients is, why haven't you committed suicide yet?
Trust me, Rajiv, I was not able to read this book in one go. I was crying, oh my God, how much these people are going through. And they're standing in line. They just don't know if they are going to be inmate or they're just going to the gas chamber. It was so heartbreaking that they did not understand jokes as well. Everything has to be straightforward. If someone said that your friend is up in the air, they could not relate unless until it was told that the place where they went was a gas chamber and now they're no more. Till the time it was...
He's gone. Yes.
Yeah, till the time it was like very straightforward. They could not even understand the humor because the conditions they were living in.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, and I think, one of the other incident that is very underappreciated, and especially for people like us who are from India and Pakistan, Bangladesh, that the partition had very similar stories. And I don't know if people have heard about 1947 archive. There was a Stanford, this lady who started actually documenting, through video and audio, interviews of people who were affected by partition across all these, countries. And there are more than 10,000 plus stories. Because think about it, that generation is almost gone. And because we did not document, similar to like Jews documented Holocaust, we have forgotten the history. We have no clue, the atrocities that happened, the life. We see that, we see that in our grandparents, or saw that, I would say, then most of them are not more, So similar stories, very, very, how those things shape the, paranoia of society and the conditioning of society and everything.
Yes, Rajiv, very, very similar story. And yes, my grandparents moved from Pakistan, and we have a very different connect from the other country. Again, no matter cricket and whatever is going on is a different story. But when we meet someone from Pakistan and they meet us, so we tell them our grandparents are from Pakistan, and then they tell us that our grandparents from India, and the kind of connect we have is very different. And it's again very different from what people have told us that, just don't want to discuss this.
Exactly. But, but that is true. You see, we were fed, the lies through textbooks, and each country, in India, we are fed lies about, Pakistan and Bangladesh, and I'm sure they are fed lies about us. So, but the thing is that, this is all BS, these are all political things, political, narratives that are created, and we fall prey to it. And that is where it becomes very important to understand, and be true to yourself and say, am I going to fall a trap, into this trap?
So this reminds me of a very, this story is very close to my heart. My grandfather, he did not come during partition. He was supposed to board that train, which had a massive mass scare. He just stayed back that I don't want to go. And I want to serve Pakistan government. He was with Pakistan Army. God bless his soul. And in December, people came to know that he's a Hindu and he should leave the country. And then one of his acquaintance got him a train ticket and asked a person that you ensure that he boards that train and he's no more in Pakistan. And my grandfather, he used to drink that, one glass every day, and then we are back in that memory lane. And he used to tell the story every time. And I just said that, Baji, अच्छा वक्त अच्छे लोग सब भूल जाते, बुरा वक्त बुरे लोग सबको याद रहते. You remember that people didn't let you stay there. but you're not thankful for the person who actually saved your life. I got a very
exactly. Yeah.
I got a reply. जब सुई चुभी नहीं तो दर्द होगा नहीं. And honestly, yes, till the time you don't feel that pain, you don't know what it was.
Yes.
What he went through. But as a kid, I was just, you can be thankful to the person who actually bought a ticket for you and asked someone to board that bus.
Make sure that you are
was like
safe.
that young lad that, who was with army and wanted to change the world and stay in his country and all. So yes, these stories are very close to our heart. And I would really like to encourage our listeners, if they have similar stories, do post. We highly encourage people to post stories on our website, thelailama.com. We'll be more than happy to host you. Do share your stories with us. And I remember there's this joke from Amit Tandon that what we've been told कि हमारे पास बहुत ज़मीनें थी, बहुत सोना था. The way they're portrayed, Pakistan would have been bigger than China. Like,
yes, exactly.
Had a bigger land and everything.
Amount of gold we left, amount of gold and this thing we left behind. Yes.
That's what he said. बर्तन तो सारे ले आए, jewelry वहाँ छोड़ आए.
Yes, so, I remember each joke. Yes.
We don't know how much truth or lie you've been raised with.
Exactly.
Yes, these are stories that we were like royal family, rich family, and things happened. Partition and everything.
Anything, yes. We lie more to ourselves than to anybody else.
Yeah, वो हमको मालूम है जन्नत की हकीकत, लेकिन दिल के खुश रखने को गाली देते हैं अच्छा है.
Yes, I agree.
That was a happy, not so happy note, but yes, it did take us to a memory lane. And in the end, again, coming back to the book that Viktor Frenkel wrote, that no matter what you're going through in life, you always have a choice of making that decision that how you want to behave with the other person. And
and I would encourage everyone to, exit as a diamond, not as a core.
That's a beautiful way to say thank you so much for listening. Do visit our website, thelailama.com. Do post your lives with us, and we'll be more than happy to host you. Thank you so much.